Yatasha. Sleep. One enemy remaining.
Oh my word. Oh my!
Inside your head.
Let's go! Yo, what's up guys? If you're watching this video, then the chances are you've been changing your sensitivities between every round. Well, fear not, I've got the sensitivities you need to create a great baseline for you to take them further and personalize them for yourself. I say baseline because that is what works for me. You will want to fine tune that and make it all work exactly how you like it, transform it, make it your own. Anyway, let's get on with the video.
Remaining.
Okay, quick break.
My ult's ready.
One enemy remaining.
Stim beacon here. See ya.
One enemy remaining. Spike down B. Nightmare, take them! Marked 4.
No distraction.
That makes 3.
Okay, so let's get into it then. The settings that I have been using, that I've been using the last few days, I've been pretty happy with this the last few days. I haven't been changing it, so I'm finally ready to give it to you guys and say this is the correct baseline that I believe to use. So let's get into it. Let's start with the map and stuff. Rotate map with player. I have this off and you'll see why when you use this. I have it as keep player centered off as well. Show map region names. A lot of players on console quite new to the game, so to learn the spots around the map, it's really handy to have this on, but turn it off when necessary when you get into ranked and you know those call outs anyway. Here's the big one though, the minimap size and the minimap zoom. If you put these to 0.9 for both zoom and size, then you will be able to see the entire map in its entirety. So if you have a player on B, you're on A, you will know who they're fighting, how many they are, just by looking at the minimap if they are in vision of your teammate, and then you can adjust your gameplay accordingly rather than only seeing that section of the map you're in and basically being blind to what's going on around the map. So it's going to help your general awareness more. Content filter, this is all just standard stuff. Show mature content. If you don't like blood, don't like corpses, turn it off. Obviously I like it, just helps with the slight realism of the game, although obviously it's quite animated. Privacy, it's just privacy. Other enemy highlight color, if you're colorblind, anything like that, or just by preference, you can have this as any other color, purple, yellow. But I keep mine as red. I like it default. I'm very much a default player. Bullet tracers, I always have those on. I like to see where my bullets are going. If I was whiffy at one point, just helps the learning process. Show new player tips. If you are new to the game, keep this on. If you're not and you've played Valorant maybe on PC or Counter-Strike, something like that, then you can turn this off. You should know roughly what's going on around the game. First person handedness, you can have this so the gun looks on the screen from the right perspective or left-handed perspective. Some people like it to be on the left just because they're edgy, or if they're left-handed in real life. I like to just keep mine on the right, standard for most first-person shooters out there. All right, let's get to the real serious business then. These are the controls. The preset I use is actually traditional. It is defaulted to Valorant, which has the crouch on the left stick in. I play on Xbox, so forgive me for all those PlayStation players. Just transfer this to your own button inputs. So yes, I go to traditional. I've slightly changed these in the button binds, so I'll run them down. There isn't many to change, but I believe it's what works best for Valorant, and I'll explain that in just a little bit. So equip melee is with the left stick. You just press that in one time, it'll bring the melee out. Otherwise, I believe you can just hold Y or triangle if you're on PlayStation, and that'll also bring out the knife. Crouch is on B, but I've unbound that But that gives you a traditional feeling. If you've played many other first-person shooters, this is what you will be faced with. So traditional is the one we are going to go with. I've not changed any personalized agents. That is not what I'm looking to do. That is very in-depth. I think that might come months down the line, but for now, very happy to just keep them all very similar. Buttons then, let's have a look at this. And we will go down. This is all default. We have not changed any of this. Now this is where we get to the default. Crouch is actually unbound. I cannot crouch. It's a dirty habit, they call it in Valorant, where you're committing to a fight, and sometimes it's okay, but a lot of the time you're overcommitting to a spray, and you're probably going to get headshot when they try and shoot center mass. So it's not ideal, and I got used to it for about a day or two without, and I've not been crouching at all, and I've actually been a lot more successful in my sprays and my taps. So I've unbound it, and I've actually bound it to walk. Now I use a scuff pad, so I have the paddles on the back. So I now just hold that button down when I want to walk, and it just makes that walking a little bit easier on console rather than slightly moving the stick. Again, you can use focus to walk, but I'd like to have full ability on my sensitivities. So having B to walk, I can walk at the fastest pace without stepping and making that sound. This is especially useful when trying to retake sites in Valorant. Other than that, guys, everything else is personalized by you. Anything that you like to do when you play, make sure to do it. But this is just how I play, and I find it's very good for a basic starter Valorant player. Now, sensitivity, this is what everybody's been asking me. I've been beaming people on stream. People are always asking, what's your sens? I can't get anything to feel right. This is what feels right to me. Again, change it, personalize it for you, but this is a great baseline to go from. So for the base, we're going to go for a 13-13, a 12-12 for the focus. This just makes it slightly less. So when you're really trying to fine tune those shots for the range, just slightly less, so you're not just swishy. And then the ADS is actually going to be on a 9. This is because I don't really use ADS. I use it for when they're across map, but they're not looking at me. I get those one taps, or I'm holding the angle. I get the one tap when they peek. And then sniper is just slightly less than that, because you don't need to be flicky on a sniper. You're basically always holding that angle, so when they step into the scope, you're taking them out. Prioritize focus. Some of my friends, the high tier friends, will use prioritize ADS. Again, it's all preference. I go with focus. It's just how I like to play. I've been getting used to that, so I think I'm going to stick with that for now. Focus ADS behavior, hold, sniper behavior, hold, invert vertical aim. If you're weird, you can have this as on, but don't be weird. Have it as off. Dead zone is whatever your controller will allow. You always want to have it so it's just not moving by itself and as low as it can possibly go. So get in the practice range and see what your controller will allow. Now, a big one here is the curve. I have all of mine on heavy. This is a lot to do with aim acceleration. And heavy for me just feels nice. It allows me to be quite snappy if I need to do a 180 or turn quite fast for a quick peek, or to face off any rotations that might be coming my way. But it also allows me to be very steady in my 1v1 gunfights. So that is what I use. I use the heavy curve. Movement, this is kind of interesting. Crouch behavior toggle, obviously I don't crouch. The walk run threshold, this is all to do with how little you have to move the stick to walk or to run. I have mine at 0.88, seems kind of nice for me. All of this is pretty much default apart from the plant and diffuse behavior. I have this on toggle, so I can just press down on the D-pad and it will always diffuse until I press down again. Again, it just helps you have like your thumb on the stick instead of on the D-pad, which always helps you be ready for any sort of fights that can come your way. One more thing I have changed on this is the walk while in focus. I've taken this off. I like to have full control over if I'm walking or not, and I don't want to, if I'm focusing my aim down sights, sometimes, yeah, I don't want to just be able to walk and limit myself. I want that all to be customized by me. Again, that's why we put walk on B, so we can hold B, hold focus, and we're always walking, or we can let go of B and we're focused and we're still running. So that's the sort of level I want to have. I apologize if this is quite confusing, but watch it back. You'll understand what I mean when you have these settings. Let's go to Crosshair then, guys. So basically, to create Crosshair, press the right stick in. I use preset 5. It's a great basic one, which is very clean, and it does everything you need to. There are funny ones, which if I ever see you using these, I swear you're not on my team. Pro picks, so these are great as well. But for people that like to play on a little bit bigger TVs, maybe these aren't so good. Again, so I go for the 5 on the preset. Any one of these are good. Any one of these 5 are good. And just make the Crosshair just smaller than you'd see. You'll understand when you've seen the gameplay footage, maybe versus your own Crosshair. It looks a lot cleaner and a lot nicer. So I'm not going to really run down all these base focus, ADS and sniper scopes, just because they're all default. As soon as you pick that Crosshair, that is how it will appear. So don't really need to change in that. Keep it nice and basic. We're not trying to make this difficult for you guys to follow. So yeah, just keep it default and then adjust it if you need to. There is no reason to adjust it at this stage. Stats, this is just your FPS. I have minus text only, just so I like to see if I am getting that true 120 frames, which I do with my Series X console, and I believe you can get that on PS5 as well. So make sure your console is set to 120 Hertz on your monitor and your frame rate on your console to make sure you're getting 120 frames. You don't want to be sat on 60 getting out FPS. It's a big difference, especially in the first person shooter genre. So make sure you've got that. Have a look at guides on YouTube for how to set your console to that, and you'll be well away. For volumes, all I've got is the voiceover volume at 70%. This just allows, you know, spike down A, spike planted B, just slightly down when you're trying to hear the footsteps of anything else that's going around. And all music is at 0 just for the purpose of this video, so we don't hear that menu music going on in the background. Well guys, that's my settings. I hope you enjoyed. I'll leave a couple more gameplay clips just so you can see it all in action. And I will see you in the next one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know in the comments anything you need to know about the sends, and I'll try and answer them as best I can. See you next time.
Spike down mid.
Nice. My ult is ready. Eager to land.
One enemy remaining.
That makes 3. Where are you? So much for their elite agent.
Oh my god.